I keep saying I'm a writer, and I am, okay? Now, I haven't written a book yet, but I am a writer, and I want to share something I wrote 5 days ago. And this was in response to a black woman basically giving me her hand and being like, come with me, I got you. And whether or not that'll happen, like in real life, the sentiment and the reaching out to me in that way, it really moved me. And so I had to write about it. So I don't know if this is the title, but basically this is what it's about. I titled it Pondering on Sisterhood and Community. I think what has been holding me back from connection has to do with my thoughts, assumptions, and or conclusions about having to already be healed before holding hands and communing with my sisters at the table. I am actively in process. I am actively experiencing awakening that I cannot shut my eyes to even if I tried. And as I observe all that is wrong, all that is tainted, all the things that no longer fit or work around me, I see those things within me as well. And I'm thinking I must address that before reaching out for sisterhood, before seeking and joining community, before pulling out my chair and joining my sisters to feast on the goodness that is us. Why? Because in the next season of my life, evolution and journey, trauma bonds, I affirm, will not be how any new relationships form and grow. So in my mind, me not being healed may be the reason I connect with someone else. And that type of connection is not what I desire. But as I write this, maybe that's a healthy spot in my awareness. This realization about trauma bonds that will ensure and guide me to forming whole and healthy friendships. This lets me know that I can commune right now as I am. That a sister will reach her hand out to me to hold mine. See that I am in process and still be willing to share space. Why? Because we are all healing. We are all out here working. And we have an understanding of what healthy support looks like. I can show up with my shame and not be shamed. I can show up with my fears and not be afraid. I can speak while my voice shakes and still be heard. I can show up with the little girl in me, but become secure with my womanness while in community with my sisters. And for this, I am so grateful. So I kind of want to go back. What's been holding me back is thinking that I need to be healed first. That I can't be this broken. I can't be this fractured and be a good friend or be worthy of women who are really doing the work. Because when you see women that are really doing the work and you know there's so much you need to do, when I see women who are really doing the work, it makes me, I know that they're going to hold me accountable. And I'm like, am I strong enough to deal with that? I need to be strong enough to deal with that because these women are doing it. And I want to be in community with them. And I feel like, girl, you're not healed enough for that. And And she reminded me, like, girl, we're all out here working. I show up how I show up, but don't be mistaken. I still got work to do too. And that, her reaching her hand out like a virtual hold my hand, I needed, I didn't even know I needed that. I didn't even know it was going to make me, I didn't even know I was going to be inspired to write. But when that happened, I was just so moved that I had to write this. And I'm a reflection of you, maybe. And we can be in community with each other and heal. And no, it does not have to be a trauma bond. Since we are aware of this terminology and since we are aware of these things, we know that that's not what it is. That's not what it's going to be. We're going to affirm that right now. No more trauma bonding. I mean that. No more. And because we have that awareness, because I now have that awareness, I know that relationships that form for me now and beyond will not be based on trauma. Sure, we have things in common, but that's where it stops, and that's where it starts, and that's where it stops. We're not gonna bond over that.
I'm looking back at what I said, and right, we're not going to bond over the trauma, but we can and we will understand that there are similarities that we have, and we can be in connection because we have those similarities, not because we're bonding on our trauma and staying stuck in that trauma. I just wanted to clear that up because I did. It felt like it was an unfinished thought.
Another thing I said, as I observe all that is wrong, all that is tainted, all the things that no longer fit and work around me, I see those things within me as well. And that's what I'm talking about. I see the things in me that I need to work on, and that's fine. Healing, life, journeying through life is an ongoing process. It's never ending. And it doesn't mean that it has to be traumatic and terrible the whole way. But it is lifelong. It is a lifelong journey. And so there will always be things to work on. When we meet new people, we're going to have to get to know them. And, if we connect, we do. And if we don't, we don't. But I can't sit there and tell myself, you're not healed enough. Because you deserve community right now. I deserve community right now. Everybody may look posh on the outside, and that's great, and a lot of women are. And that's not to say that they don't have their things to work out as well. You know, also, what I really appreciate, and I love when I'm writing because when the thoughts come to me, I'm just going and going and going and going. I'm not making many mistakes. It's almost like I'm not even thinking about it. It's just the thoughts are just there, and I just get to write them. And so I just enter like a flow state. And when I said, because I remember writing this and crying at the same time, what I want to take away from this and what I want you to take away from this, from what I wrote and what I'm saying right now, this is what I really want you to hold on to right now, is I can show up with my shame and not be shamed. I can show up with my fears and not be afraid. I can speak while my voice shakes and still be heard. That's community, that's sisterhood. Sure, be held accountable in a loving way, not in a way to make me feel bad. When does shame ever make anybody feel better about themselves? I can be in community with women who will be like, okay, I see you. What you gonna do about that? And not shame me for it. I can come and be scared and be afraid and be uncertain and still be loved and held. I can come and I can speak and I can cry at the same time and still be heard. I'm just so grateful for that realization. I'm so grateful for that. I can show up with the little girl in me and become secure with my womanness while in community with my sisters. I can do all of that in a healthy way, in a loving way. I can do that. I deserve that, and so do you.